About from death to life. So a lot of people are dead right now. I met an old man from Key West, Florida. He walked here in town and got off the train here, and he wanted to go out and mine opals. And I helped him for a while, and he said something I never forgot. He said, most people are dead already. A lot of people are dead already. They just haven't bothered to crawl in the grave yet. They're really dead. They don't live for nothing, really. They don't have nothing to live for, it don't seem like. They don't have any life in them. But Jesus came to give you life and give it to you more abundantly. A lot of people, they just don't have nothing to live for, it don't seem like. And if you don't have Jesus, you don't have nothing to live for, really. But I want to read about a man that was brought back to life by Jesus Christ, okay? And this is about a man named Lazarus. I want to do a little bit of reading. It's in John, the 11th chapter, and I'm reading out of the Contemporary English Version. John 11, starting with the first verse. A man by the name of Lazarus was sick in the village of Bethany. He had two sisters, Mary and Martha. This was the same Mary who later poured perfume on the Lord's head and wiped his feet with her hair. The sisters sent a message to the Lord and told him that his good friend, he was a good friend to Lazarus, his good friend Lazarus was sick. When Jesus heard this, he said, "This sickness won't end in death. It will bring glory to God and his Son." Verse 5. Jesus loved Martha and her sister and brother, but he stayed where he was for 2 more days. Then he said to his disciples, "Now we will go back to Judea." And this is where Jesus is at least a day's journey, a day's walk away from where Lazarus is. And it will take him another day to travel back to the home. And where he was going, where Lazarus lived, was real close to Jerusalem. And Jesus had been in Jerusalem not very long ago, just a few days ago. And when he was in Jerusalem, the Jewish leaders, the religious people, had tried to stone him to death. I don't know what do you know what being stoned to death is? That's when they throw rocks at you until you're dead.
Yeah.
They throw big rocks on your head and whatever. Anybody like to get stoned to death?
No.
It's a terrible way to die. That's the way Stephen was stoned. He was the first Christian martyr. You can read in the book of Acts about him. So for Jesus to go back to that area where they tried to stone him would put his life in a lot of danger. But so one of his disciples said, "Teacher," or the disciple said to him in verse 8, "The people there want to stone you to death. Why do you want to go back?" You know why he wanted to go back? Because he loves Lazarus and he loves Mary and he loves everybody. He's not afraid of death, just like you won't be afraid of death either when you have Jesus in you.
That's right.
Jesus answered. This is what he said to them. When they said, "Why do you want to go back? Aren't there 12 hours in each day? If you walk during the day, you will have light from the sun and you won't stumble. But if you walk during the night, you will stumble because you don't have any light." And I'm going to have to study those scriptures. I don't really know what they mean that much. It's just common sense, right? But it means something too. Everything in the Bible really has a great meaning.
I think it's because there's a kingdom of darkness at nighttime.
The kingdom of darkness, right. Then he told them, "Our friend Lazarus is asleep, and I am going there to wake him up." They replied, "Lord, if he's asleep, he will get better." Jesus really meant that Lazarus was dead. But they thought he was talking only about sleep. Verse 14, then Jesus told them plainly, he told his disciples, he said, "Lazarus is dead." How did he know he was dead? Because he's God, right? He said, "Lazarus is dead."
He knows everything.
I am glad that I wasn't there. He was glad he wasn't there to see Lazarus die. Because now you will have a chance to put your faith in me. Let's go to him. And one of his disciples, Thomas, whose nickname was Twin, said to the other disciples, "Come on, let's go so we can die with him." Because to go back there was to face death. So when Jesus got to Bethany in verse 17, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Been buried 4 days. And Bethany was only 2 miles from Jerusalem. That's where they tried to stone Jesus to death. and many people had come from the city to comfort Martha and Mary because her brother had died. When Martha heard that Jesus had arrived, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed in the house. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Yet even now I know that God will do anything you ask." You know, so many times we feel like the end has come already, right? Here they hear her brother had died. Her brother had died. These two, Mary and Martha, their brother died. They thought the end had come, right? But there's no end with Jesus. How many times have you heard people say, "Where was God when I needed him?" Because Jesus wasn't there when her brother died. "Where were you, Jesus, when I needed you? I wish you'd have been here. I thought God loved me. Why